Sticky, bitch.
All right. Welcome back to MVP, y'all. Thanks for joining us. We're excited to welcome you guys to episode 11. I'm Chelsea, the stick-up kid who just got stuck up by some boys in the hood.
What?
Exactly. We'll talk about it.
Okay. And I'm Shiloh, a.k.a. Lover Girl, and was not expecting that.
Well, let's get started with my favorite part of the episode. Queer cheers.
Let's go, queer cheers. All right, so we are giving it up to the governor of Maine, Miss Janet Mills, baby, because I don't know if you remember, Chels, but there was a little... It came on the news, and they were talking about Trump's executive order barring transgender student athletes from playing on girls' sports teams.
Yes.
And so he threatened her in a room full of people and said, you better do it because you're not going to get any federal funding at all if you don't. And Mills simply said, see you in court.
That's right. I remember
like a
that
G.
famous line, I will see you in court.
See you in court.
Love it.
That is all she had to say, and did. So
And did.
2 weeks ago, the federal judge told Trump to unfreeze federal funding that was allocated to Maine from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. And that's who supplements money for school meals that feed nearly 200,000 students.
I'm so
you
excited.
mean to tell me that you're ready to freeze funding and not feed meals to 200,000 children.
Right.
Because transgender athletes are playing sports.
Right.
Because
So-
that makes sense.
Right. Well,
But shout out to Janet Mills.
go Janet. You won,
Okay.
Janet. You won. And
Yeah.
the kids will be fed, and we will not support discriminatory
Never.
practices. So great job. Great
Queer
job. We're excited
cheers
for Maine.
to you.
Good job. Good
Governor
job.
Janet Mills of Maine.
And the kids eat.
Whoop, whoop.
All right.
Vibe check.
Shiloh,
What's up?
are you still running? Are you still out here running the
Of
streets?
course I'm running. Yes, I have to run 10 miles tomorrow. But I 2 days ago ran for 60 minutes straight.
Wow.
That's the longest I've ever ran.
How's the
no
injury?
stops.
Are you?
Feel much better. The Voltaren gel is working.
Okay.
The elevation, the new shoes, the stretching, all the correct things that I'm doing. The recovery process.
The foam rolling.
The foam rolling, all of that. Yeah, I just, shout out to B. Scott, gifted me a gun, like one of the Theraguns.
The muscle
like
guns?
The Hypervolt.
Wow.
Yeah. I was like, what? Thank you. And it's so handy because I
That's
have a very
exciting.
tight IT band, so they say. See, learning all these new things.
Wow.
So these are all the things that runners get, because I'm a runner.
You're a
track
runner
star.
now. You're a runner now.
But yeah, it's going really well. I'm not all the way hyped to run 10 miles tomorrow because the 8 miles that I ran was wild. So to imagine 2 more miles after that is like, all right. Tomorrow's going to be a day. So I'm trying to amp myself up for it. I carb loaded today a little bit,
Okay.
So that's what's happening.
Yeah, you can get it done. What are we now? We're 6 weeks out?
I think I'm in my 5th week of training, 6th week
Wow.
of training, I think.
It's around the corner.
Yeah.
Okay, you got this.
I'm halfway through my training.
Very excited. Very
Me
excited
too.
for you.
Me too.
You know what else is exciting? I got an apartment.
got an
I got an apartment.
She's not
I
out
got
here
an
in these
apartment.
streets, okay?
She signed a lease. She signed a lease.
did.
She signed a
did.
lease.
She gave him all her money.
I did. Oh my gosh. Guys, I will be housed, okay? She is moving in on the 28th on Monday.
Y'all, she stayed in WeHo. This
I-
bitch did not come to the Valley.
I
I
did
just want
not.
y'all to
I
know
know.
that she said, I'm staying in WeHo. She ain't never even come look over my way.
I did.
And you're a liar.
I
You
did
not.
look.
No, you didn't. Not with no real. She didn't really look, y'all. She looked in West
I
Hollywood.
will say the effort is minimal. Was minimal.
It was
I will say
beyond.
the effort
It
was
was.
minimal.
It was less than minimal.
But look at what God did, right? So after I
Yeah.
found the place that I found, which I was very excited about, I went to go see you that same day after I found my place. And my map took me a different way, which was really weird. I go over the canyon the same exact way.
Yeah.
And my map said make a left. I was like, this is interesting. I never drive down this street. Why am I making a left? And soon as I made a left, I saw building after building after pretty building after pretty building. And I said I would live in all of these buildings. It was about 40 buildings. But I had already signed my place.
Yeah. So that's just what it is. You ain't meant to be a valley girl. You can't sit with us.
But I tried. But you know what? The exciting thing is that now you have a city home and you also have a suburban home. So that is the benefit.
So now I need a key. Just go ahead and tell her to
Just
put
two keys.
Okay?
2 keys. And I might have a grandmother in the building. Her name is Carmen.
What?
She has been texting me and just very excited. I'm moving there and can't wait to talk to me about plans. I feel like she's going to invite me over for dinner soon.
Oh my God.
So I don't know how I feel
Carmen.
about it. She's very sweet, but it's like, are you?
She about to be nosy. She about
That's
to be
what
in
I'm.
your business.
I'm like, Carmen.
I don't like when they already be on it like that. But how did she get your number? You talking about she texting you?
She
because
is the property manager who lives on site.
Oh, she's the property manager.
But she's sweet.
About
she's
to be
very
in your
sweet. She's very sweet.
That's how they start. Very sweet. Do you remember Joanne?
Oh.
Of Atwater Village? Our first apartment? Joanne started out real sweet.
I still have
and
horror
nosy,
stories
though.
about Joanne. I
Real
still have
sweet
horror
and real
stories about
nosy,
Joanne.
and then became real racist.
I wonder what happened to Joanne.
I don't
We should look
care.
her up.
She's probably she probably has an obituary.
Yeah, she probably. We
For
should look her.
sure.
We should look into her. But yes, so I'm very excited. So y'all, don't worry about me. Okay.
Okay. All right.
I will be moving on Monday.
I love that for you.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
What else has been up? What you been doing this week?
When I have my spandex on.
Girl, she was outside. OUTSIDE.
OUTSID outside. Okay. First of all, y'all.
Outside of her Spanish. She came.
We were going to Countercultures, BYOV, Bring Your Own Vibe, which was so dope. In the park over downtown LA.
Yep.
And it was so good. Sunday was beautiful weather outside. Beautiful weather, beautiful people on Easter Sunday. And we showed up, had a great time. We had an Easter egg hunt.
We did. I got all the Easter eggs.
I
ran my ass over there like a little kid. And then I was like, you know what? I should have saved some of these Easter eggs for some other people.
You actually, first of all, you didn't even know the Easter egg hunt started because it was sponsored by Fake Friends. Sponsored by Fake Friends. We didn't know it started. So as we're walking over, and they were like, "It started already." You bolted off. Bolted.
Usain Bolt.
Usain bolted off. Okay, so the running's coming
She a
in
runner.
handy.
She a track star.
Okay,
I did. I bolted.
All the eggs.
All the eggs except the golden ones. Apparently
they had a couple
money.
of golden eggs that had money in it. You had all the
I was
golden
trying to get
eggs.
my rent paid. That's really what I ran over there
Yeah,
for.
because
But
they said
I ain't find no golden eggs.
They said it was cash shipping.
I got tons of candy at my house right now that I'm probably not gonna eat.
All the things. I was finding eggs, dropping eggs because I didn't have nothing to put the eggs in because I had the spandex
I used
on.
my shirt. That's right.
I ain't had nothing to put the eggs in.
You ain't have nothing
Oh
to put
my
the
gosh!
eggs in.
But we had a bounty. We got back. We had some treasures. We had a
Yes,
bounty.
we did. Lots of candy.
Lots of candy. And then you had won some extra things because you had won so many eggs that they came over and gifted you because it was $4.20.
Right. I got a THC liquor.
A whole liquor bottle.
THC liquor sounds nuts.
It sounds crazy.
It sounds like I'm gonna be on somebody's floor.
It does.
Or I'm gonna be laughing real hard. I can't.
You gotta try it and see. Take a shot.
I'm nervous.
Take a shot at
They
our
gave
next
it.
podcast,
It came with a
next
little
episode.
shot glass. So I'm thinking like like NyQuil, how it comes with that little glass. That's how much you're supposed to take.
Well, let's see.
I'm gonna take half of that glass though and see what it do.
Will you try it on the next episode?
And I got some pre-rolls. They gave me some pre-rolls.
Yeah, and you got pre-rolls.
Will you try it on the next episode? Wow.
They came over and gave you so many things.
They did.
And took pictures. I was like, okay, you just won everything. You was like the winner that day. And then we sat down. Oh, before we sat down, we played Double Dutch.
We did.
We played Double Dutch, and whoever we played with, Pierre from
Purse Price kept trying to tell us we was double-handed, and we wasn't
so
able,
offended.
First of all, because everybody that jumped in when they turned the rope was not able to jump either.
Pierre,
I was like, maybe it's
if I see you
ropes.
out in these streets again.
Okay, don't try us like that. No
if
more.
I see you out in these streets again, Pierre.
It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's how we was turning.
Exactly.
There wasn't nobody turning double-handed.
Ain't never been double-handed. So there's that. So we did some Double Dutch.
Wasn't nobody
was dope.
click clack, click clack, click clack. That's not what was happening.
Okay, that part. And played Frisbee, which I haven't played Frisbee in years.
We did.
Hella fun.
I couldn't. You was tossing it. I was like, I couldn't get it. I was trying to get it to hover on the air, and I was like, I clearly ain't thrown a Frisbee in a long time.
You know what? You were a little rusty, but we had a good time. We burned
did.
some calories. Only thing was missing was a hula hoop. And then we got
Straight field
down.
day
We
vibes.
sat down and got down and started playing a game of spades.
And
Now,
you know, my test question is always, how y'all play?
big joker,
Joker,
little joker, deuce
deuce
of
of
spade, deuce of diamond.
Deuce of diamonds, deuce of spades, Chelsea.
Either-
This is where we disagree, because you always say deuce of spades, deuce of diamonds.
Because
Where I'm from is deuce of diamonds, deuce of spades.
okay, but this is a thing. It does. I can play any way
long as
y'all
it's
want
big
to
joker,
play.
little joker.
I'll play any way y'all want to play. The point,
Except I don't like playing ace high.
and I don't like when people take out jokers. But regardless,
Right, that's what I'm saying.
We'll play
Ace-
any
yeah.
way you want to play, right?
Yeah.
So we get the rules, right? And we sit down with these two gentlemen, okay, who
Who
have been
play
playing.
just like we do.
Play just like we do, no problem there. And they play hand bits itself. No
First hand
problem
bids
there.
itself.
No problem there.
They dope.
They don't. Let me tell y'all something.
Ain't never,
Ever,
ever
ever,
not gone board.
we did not make board,
Board.
y'all,
We
and
did
we
not
could
make
not
board.
believe it. I had to do a double take when the game was over. I had to do a double take. I said, "Ain't no way."
Ain't no way we only got 3 books sitting down here.
3 books.
That's nuts. Didn't go board.
The stick up kid.
First of all, I had 2 low spades. That's all I had.
I think I had 2 spades actually. I had 2 spades and crazy amount of hearts. So the books that I was
Yeah.
able to get, I tried to get them out real quick.
I
And
have
that
no-
was it.
I had like a queen face card. I was just like, what is this fucking hand?
Man.
It was horrible.
They
but
were getting book after book
they,
after book after
I
book
could
after
not
book.
believe what was happening. I was like, what?
They
What?
couldn't believe what was happening.
No, because the way we sat down, it was like, So the next hand, mind you, we was basically playing in the dark because the sun went down very, very fast.
We had to use camera phones for lights.
We did. But we redeemed ourselves.
We
got
absolutely-
8 books.
absolutely redeemed
We got
ourselves.
8 books, and they said, okay, y'all can play. We can see it.
Yeah.
And we was like, yeah, that first hand,
Yeah.
we not even.
I can't even believe that happened.
Yo,
So
that was
I don't
wild.
know what your names are. I forgot.
I know, but if you hear this podcast, hit us up. We wanna
wanna-
come play again.
Yeah, I'm gonna call y'all boys in the hood, but yeah, definitely
Boys
got
in the
stuck up.
hood got stuck up. The
Got
stick up
stuck up.
kid got stuck up, baby.
So that's how that happened.
We did. It
That's
was
how that
wild.
happened.
I went to something really cool last night called Fish and Scripts. Shout out to my homegirl Jasmine, who is from my neck of the woods in Florida. But she's out here, dope ass photographer, dope ass artist. She paints.
I like that
she
name.
does what?
Fish and scripts.
Fish and Scripts,
Yeah, that's
right?
cool.
So what they do is her and her roommate John, they fry a bunch of fish up. And now people are starting to bring extra side dishes. Like yesterday, there was fried fish, rolls, mac and cheese, cabbage.
Oh,
Like we
cool.
was eating good. And there was probably like 35 of us in there. And we read someone's script. In our community, in our circle, we read somebody's
Nice.
script. The script was so good. It was this script called Good Grief. Shout out to Yvette. You wrote the hell out of that. Such great characters. It was just beautiful to see this community like pour into each other. And one thing that I love that they did, you said your name, where you're from, and then they said, what dream can we hold for you?
Wow.
And everybody went around the room and we all said, and it was really dope community building shit. That's the shit
Yeah.
that we need right now to like uplift and
Beautiful.
yeah, it was dope. It was really dope. So I went to that last night. So shout out to them for creating something really dope.
I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that.
So did you hear about this shit with Shannon Sharpe?
I have heard some rumblings that he has
Speaking of stick up kid, he getting stuck up for
$50
$50
million.
because his 56-year-old ass. She was 19. You lose credibility with me when you're a 56-year-old fucking with somebody that when you got with her was 19. She's 21 now.
Right.
I don't really have I can't give you any credibility at that point
100%.
because you clearly wanted to control somebody whose frontal lobe still ain't all the way formed.
Absolutely.
So I don't really, I've never, the only reason Shannon Sharpe is relevant is because Cat Williams sat in his chair and made his fucking Shay Shay show relevant. That's the only reason that nigga became that relevant that he is right now. He can thank Cat Williams and his brilliance. But he's not a good interviewer. He's not it's some rocks up here. It ain't
Yeah.
all. There's that, and you know he does whatever on ESPN.
Shock value. Yeah, and he
But
has a
it's
lot of shock
like
value.
he apparently offered her $10 million to settle.
Right.
She said,
No, thank you.
"No, thank you." I'm
And here we are.
And you know what's crazy is that I heard him say something disgusting on somebody pulled up a clip because you know now everybody's gonna pull up everything he's ever said. And he was on a show. He does a late night podcast, I guess, with Ocho Cinco. And he said, "Everybody's talking about date your age, date your age. I date my wage." Well, here you have it. You getting stuck for your wages because you a nasty ass old man.
Yeah.
And Monique even sat in your chair, actually, and told your ass to stop fucking with young girls.
And here you are.
And the audacity that some of y'all have to put Tracy Ellis Ross in this conversation, who we just talked about, because she said she doesn't date men her own age because she doesn't like toxic masculinity.
Right.
Because you know who's her age? Shannon Sharpe.
Exactly.
And that's why she doesn't want to date.
But she also didn't
them.
say that she dates 19-year-olds.
Correct.
She didn't say that.
Baby,
she says she dates younger men.
Younger men, younger than her,
Right.
that aren't in her age range, because that would leave her with people like Shannon Sharpe.
But she also isn't being accused of rape and
Correct.
assaulting people.
Correct.
It's very different.
It's very different. And for all of y'all that like to sidestep nuance and sidestep facts and conflate things
Right.
that have no, because y'all are in the He-Man woman hater club and y'all love to try to conflate things that do not go together. This is not that.
Yeah.
And y'all get on my motherfucking nerves.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, it's constant of the men dating and taking advantage of these younger women, and it's constant that we're hearing protect our black men and protect our black men and and it's like no one's protecting the women. So Shannon Sharpe, I actually hope that she gets more than 50 million.
I hope she gets all your
also
coins.
he was charged with also assaulting somebody at his last workplace. He like choked an employee or something that worked at his last workplace, some woman, and it got swept under the rug. So here we are. So Shannon,
Here we are.
sorry for you. He stepped back. He stepped aside from ESPN to focus
I heard
on
that
his
today. Yeah, I
his
bet.
case, and he said he plans to come back at the start of the preseason. And Shannon,
I don't see that for you.
What you plan to do and what ESPN is going to let you do might be two different things, brother.
I think so. And I think that Shay Shay Club, I don't know. You might,
ESPN is owned by Walt Disney, so
yeah,
good
luck, baby boy. Good luck.
Shannon, you fucked up a check.
Yeah, you said,
You fucked up
don't
a
date
check.
your age, date your wage. Well, here you go, brother.
So sorry for you.
Yo, that's crazy.
But I'm sure Sherry Shepherd will have you on her show. She'll probably be giving
my
you.
God,
She'll probably be giving you
child.
hugs. So you'll be all right. And we'll be talking about it in another episode.
In about a year after your conviction and after you pay $50 million, she's gonna invite you on.
Oh
That's
my
unfortunate.
gosh.
That's so unfortunate. I hope y'all learn y'all lesson. Anyway, speaking of somebody who is way less toxic and actually on the whole opposite end of the spectrum from that man, it's Kehlani. It's her birthday today.
Happy birthday, Kehlani.
Yeah, we fucks with you heavy over here.
We do.
You've always been somebody who stands up for rights of the LGBTQIA plus crew. So,
Yes.
And we know that you are all the way a lesbian now. She's made that very plain.
Very clear. Very clear. She's into the ladies.
But you know something she said today is that she has a bipolar diagnosis, and I never knew that about her. And that she was trying to, mask it with a bunch of different things, because she's been really on her health tip. I don't know if you follow her, but she's been doing 75 hard in the gym, going crazy,
Working out,
looking
yep.
good.
Good.
But she's been sober, her sobriety.
We're all doing the sober thing. I love it. I
and
love to
getting
see
fit.
it.
And getting fit, trying to be healthy out here. But
Yeah.
she said some really cool things that she said she's taking into her 30s that I was just like, this is actually
She made a list, right?
She made a list, but I'm just gonna read a couple of them. The hard thing is usually the right thing. Make sure the healing work you're doing or healing path you're taking is only making you better and closer to God. Anything supplemental, escapist, or regressive isn't the work. Check in with yourself often on if you're genuinely becoming kinder, clearer, more grounded, and focused. Privacy is a luxury. These were, I was just like, she busted these
Bars.
out. Yeah, she had bars.
Bars.
Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Yeah.
Real solid love comes from time, effort, and foundation of friendship. You guys don't need to be perfect. You need to be happy.
Yeah.
There was just a lot of them. Y'all should go look at the list. I was like, that's such a beautiful thing to know all of those things turning 30.
And things that you learn as you grow, you know? So these are obviously statements that she has learned as she's
I don't think I knew these things when I was 30.
Yeah.
I wasn't there when I was 30. So
Grown
that's
shit.
what I
Grown
was.
shit.
It's real grown shit.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe, you know, being in the limelight speeds that process up. But that I was really impressed with that list that somebody wrote that at turning 30.
Yeah.
You know, like not a lot of 30-year-olds at that point in their life. So,
But it sounds like also with what you were saying, all the things that she's doing, she's probably also taking a lot of reflection.
mm-hmm.
She's doing it on a very clear mind. She's closer to God.
Mm-hmm.
So you're able to also
She's
see
in
things
her
a little
body.
bit different. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Good for her. Good job. Kehlani.
Yeah.
And
shout
she
out to
also
you.
said she's not just bipolar, she also has personality disorder too. So she's got two double whammies when it comes
Oh,
to
really?
mental
that.
mental diagnosis. So she's battling. So
Yeah.
good job. Good
She
job,
said she's on
Kehlani.
meds and all of that.
Yeah.
So shout out to you. We see you. We uplift you and happy birthday. Because these are the kind of things that keep you an MVP out here.
Yeah.
I saw Sinners in IMAX 70 millimeter.
Okay, I have not seen it yet, so
The
please
only
be careful.
place that you can see it IMAX 70 millimeter is City Walk. I
Okay.
highly suggest you get a ticket. It's probably booked out for the next week. But when you can, get a ticket and go see it because I want to hear your thoughts. I think it was beautiful. I have thoughts. And I would love to discuss, you know, once everybody, you know, a couple weekends have gone by and then y'all have had ample time to see. I'm not going to give no spoilers on here. And then I heard that Mr. Coogler also is rebooting X-Files. That's going to be kind of fly.
That's going to be really, really dope, actually.
Yeah, because X-Files was scary as fuck. And I hope, what's her name is coming back. I think there were talks about her coming back. She's a phenomenal actress.
I never was-
Why her name isn't coming
I
to my
never
head
was
right
into
now.
the X-Files.
You never watched the
No,
X-Files?
because I probably
was
thought
a
it was
kid.
scary.
It was
and
scary.
I don't like anything scary.
I don't know why I used to like to scare myself as a kid, but definitely was a scary show. But he said it's going to be scary.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I'm going to check it out. Speaking of X-Files, wrapping up this gorgeous little breakup month that we've been having.
you know, because cuffing season is officially over.
It's
people,
over,
people
guys.
pulling out their
We're
coochie
done.
cutters. I was just on the phone with somebody today talking about it's time. They're defrosting. The coochie cutters are defrosting.
Everybody's in the gym. We're
You know,
ready.
Islands are about to.
We're ready to
about
be outside. We're ready to be outside.
about to be frequented.
Yes.
It's about to be
So we're done.
summertime.
Everybody
out
let
here.
go of the exes. So
Okay.
X-Files.
People got closer to themselves. You know, planted some seeds of self-love in this time.
We love it. We love to see it. So y'all got rid of your exes, right? How y'all dealing with it, though? Ex Etiquette 101. Let's talk about it. Topic of the week.
Let's go. We are not professionals, but in fact, regular OG lesbians with life experience who are trying our best to grow and put emotional maturity, vulnerability, and consideration of others at the forefront of our actions. Listen to us at your own risk, because who gave these hoes mics? Ex Etiquette 101, Chelsea says. She about to take y'all to school with this, okay?
Listen,
the do's and don'ts. Okay, what are you doing? What are you not doing with your exes?
And what shouldn't you be doing?
What shouldn't you be doing? What Kehlani say? What she say? She said, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think it's important to, I'm just going to make this statement. I think it's
Okay.
important because we talk a lot about being emotionally mature, vulnerable people.
And
The
our journey.
emotionally mature part is one thing. Emotionally manipulative is another. And I think sometimes when it comes to the breakups and the exes and the letting go and the holding on and all of that, it can sometimes get blurry in the queer culture because so much of it has to do with emotional intimacy. And so much of it is we share the same social circles and the same
And
it blurs the lines a lot.
We're a subculture, right? So we're only so much of the population. So we know, whereas people say it's a small world, it's an even smaller world for us.
Exactly.
And so when you get down to queer people, then you get down to queer black people, then you get down to queer lesbian or bisexual women who love women. Like the circle gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And we live in a major city and the circle is still small as fuck.
And so now we're in the kiddie pool. Here we are.
People pissing in the kiddie pool, and we all.
Okay, so now we got to talk about it because it is, and the culture. It gets a little bit different.
Right.
So I was asking you the other day, and the reason why this conversation kind of came up, I was like, we should talk about this on the podcast, because I was saying, I feel like in the straight culture, it's like ultimate betrayal. You do not fuck with your
ex ever. You're
do not
never
fuck
gonna
with
talk.
your friend's ex.
That too.
You don't fuck with your
Definitely.
friend's ex.
Yeah.
You don't fuck with your friend's ex.
You don't fuck with your friend's ex. You don't speak to your ex no more. Like your new partner ain't. It's
No,
just a
no,
none.
no,
It's
no.
You can't
It's a
even
wrap.
low key in the straight world. You can't even have the opposite sex friends low key.
There's that.
That's a very
You're divorced from the
hetero
in-laws.
thing.
All of
Yeah.
it. You're out the picture.
Yeah, unless
But-
maybe you have kids.
Right.
But in the queer culture.
In the queer culture, it's a little bit
very
different.
different.
And so, I mean, we have friends that date
their
exes.
friends' exes.
It's true. And that hang out even and go to the club together and go to the bar together. And so it starts to get a little bit loose.
It gets murky.
It gets murky. It gets a little shady. It gets a little weird. How do you feel about it? Do you feel like it's betrayal or not?
Okay. So we're talking about dating my friend's ex. I would never.
Okay. Okay.
My friend's ex. I'm trying to go through the Rolodex. Yeah, no.
But
no.
you have friends that have dated,
Not that I can
your
think
friend's
of.
exes.
I can't think of off the top of my head.
slept with your friends' exes.
my friends' exes.
Friends who have slept with friends.
Friends who have slept with friends for sure. I know friends that have. I'm sitting across from one.
Emotionally mature, vulnerable people. Keep it real. We keep it real.
I'm trying to think if I've. No, I have never. I couldn't ever see. Like, if we're talking like a real ex.
Would you?
Like of years.
Right.
I do not know a friend, like a close friend, who has, maybe acquaintances have done that kind of shit, but I have never seen a friend fuck with. I mean, I've been hit up by somebody who I wouldn't consider all the way like my homie. Like, we cool. I know you.
Right.
And their ex was hitting me hard.
Right.
Like, I kind of always, that kind of thing. But it never went there. But
if it did, would it be betrayal?
I don't think in that situation, if that was one of my tight homies, if that was one of my very close,
Yeah, like me, like that,
like you,
obviously, duh.
that would be, that's never happening.
Right.
Like, that's never happening.
Right.
But in that situation, it was like, well, we not too tough. So, and low key, Low key, I saw you show up with one of mine. So low key, if that's what you're doing,
Right.
then that's how you move it. Clearly, we not that close.
Right,
So,
right.
yeah, it's betrayal. If that's a close friend, if that's a good friend, and they dating your ex, that's wild, low key.
Okay. All right.
What do you think?
Ooh, okay, so I think I know, right? Okay, here's where I really will say I draw the line. I would personally, and I think it's fucked up if anybody else would date. I would never date my ex's ex. Like, that's where I feel like that's foul play.
My ex's
Ex, I feel like is the ultimate fucked up betrayal. Like, if you dated my ex's ex, like, that's crazy.
My ex's ex. That is wild.
That's like the most fucked up thing that I think you could possibly do.
I feel like
I think that's more fucked up.
Really?
I think that's the most fucked up thing you could do.
If you dated your ex's ex, it would be fucked up to your ex.
Dated my ex?
If your ex dated your ex.
What?
Okay, so if your ex dated your ex, you said if you dated your ex's ex.
Anybody dating anybody's ex. Anybody that you were with dating somebody's ex. I think if you dated your ex's ex,
It's starting to feel like the L word.
I know.
Where they drawing the lines,
We should.
nigga, like on the board.
But you know what I'm saying. Me dating my ex's ex or my ex dating my ex, I think is the most fucked up thing. I think that's the ultimate betrayal. But I think everything else is kind of like, maybe we could talk about it.
That's
I
funny.
would never date anybody that my friend dated. That would be
Correct.
an absolute no. That's a betrayal. So that is a betrayal, and then dating
But
my ex's
when we're
ex.
saying friends, we're talking about
friends.
like my homie.
Homie.
Like I call you on the
Homie.
phone, we talk.
Absolutely. We hang out.
Yeah.
We share.
Not like
we share
we're
stuff.
acquaintances.
No.
We know we run in the same circles. That's different. Like
100% that's different.
That's different. Yeah. So I think if you're like a close friend and I know you fucked with that person over there, that person is
Right.
off limits for me.
100% off limits. And it goes without saying.
Yeah.
And my ex's ex.
And my ex's ex.
Because once you're an ex, and if you're out the circle, say you have an ex and you're like never gonna speak to them ever again.
Okay.
That means that they're out of the circle.
Okay.
They're out.
Okay. Now their ex, if I started dating
anybody
their ex,
that they ever dated should still be off limits. In
anybody
my
they ever
mind, I
dated.
feel like that would be ultimate betrayal still. I just think it's fucked up. I think it would be fucked up. I would really be like,
I think that's
I'm gonna murder
ego.
you.
I think that's ego. That because I don't think
Maybe
I would
it
be
is.
concerned about my ex's ex. My ex's ex, but also I date more films, and the film people that I date.
you
date
would never
more
be in that
masks. So I
scenario.
would
You would
be
never be in that
I wouldn't,
scenario.
because I don't really date masks.
And I would probably never be in that scenario. But if I ever were, don't fucking do it. Don't fucking do it. All right. So some of it betrayal, some of it not. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, but the real question is, this is the real question. Friends, are you friends with your ex? Are you friends with your exes?
I love that question.
I'm not. I really try to think. I think that I could be open to it if it's the right person. And I think if there's a right amount of space and time, and we both know that there's nothing between us anymore. Nothing. I mean, from neither side, because people be posing.
Hidden agendas.
Yeah.
There's such
and
a
they
thing.
be like, I'm still crushing on you. And it's like, okay, well, we clearly can't.
Obviously.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's where I think it gets blurry, because people be having those hidden agendas and saying that they friends, but you know. So I don't think that it's never actually happened. Like, I'm not, any of my exes were not like
Friends.
We're not like tight.
Right.
We still can talk and be, amicable and say what's up. And I'm still, there's always love. It's always love. I don't have hate for none of my exes. I don't know how you have, unless they really were just horrible people, I don't know how you don't still have love for your exes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I still wish you well. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
Like I wouldn't want to see something bad happen to you.
Yeah, no, of course. I don't think. Yeah, I mean,
But I'm
we're
not
not
gonna be your
monsters.
But we're not monsters.
We're not monsters, people. But there's a
Friends,
difference
yeah.
between I don't wish you any ill will and I wish you well,
versus
and
a friendship.
I'm picking up the phone and saying hello. Nobody, are you doing that?
Yeah, nah. I've never really done that. There was actually, I randomly saw one of my first girlfriends ever at a random queer aunties event. And it was cool to see her. It was like we hadn't seen each other since our early 20s.
Yeah.
So it had been a long time.
Yeah.
And it was just nice to see each other. And we got up for like lunch and it was cool. It was just cool vibes. And I was just like, oh, that was cool to catch up. But it wasn't like we're on the phone now, or like it's not like that. And I don't know if you can really be that with your ex.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think if it was like not deep, I think if it was not deep, you could be friends with your ex. If it was like a quick fling and you immediately decided, ooh, this is like,
that wasn't it.
You quickly decided we would be better as friends.
Yeah.
Yes. You could be friends with your ex, 100%. Or if you were in a relationship and you had a lot of space after and came back and was like, we could be friends, I think, yes, as a lesbian, yes, you could be friends. I think you could be friends.
I think that's the difference in our queer culture versus in our culture versus hetero culture, because that's like a big, like, absolutely not.
Right, exactly. So I think you could be friends. Yeah, I think, like you said, if there's a hidden agenda and y'all are fucking, okay, that's not friends. That's an entanglement. Like, that's different. But yeah, I think if it's a relationship that was too real, like a deep-ass relationship, or opposite, too toxic, then I think you cannot be friends with your ex. And I tried, and it's not possible.
Yeah.
It sure as hell ain't possible. And I tried, y'all. It ain't possible.
The ex be coming with the knives, baby. They said.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't, once they see you as that person.
It is. And you know what? It's like, I think if I'm being honest, I think that in that scenario, one person is still hurting and one person is feeling guilt. And I think it sets the stage for manipulation to be disguised as friendship.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know?
That's what I mean by the knives come out.
Yeah.
The manipulation.
Yeah.
And it's like,
because
you're really not letting go of shit. You're claiming to be a friend, but really you trying to stab me every time we come around. Your intentions aren't pure. Like,
it's not.
And
the access, the quote unquote friendship gives you access, and the access becomes a weapon.
Yeah.
And the guilt that I have, I know deep down that that's what's happening, but I'm allowing it to happen because I feel like I deserve it. Because I'm confusing the guilt with responsibility.
Damn.
I know. I'm confusing the guilt. I confuse the guilt with responsibility because now I'm starting. I crazy. Okay, let me tell y'all a little story.
Wrote a story about it?
Yeah, because I will never do it again, and it's crazy because it's also not like that long ago. I think sometimes, and I'm gonna share this because I don't think I'm the only one that has probably ever been in this scenario or has had this happen. I think sometimes, depending on how the relationship ended or happened, I think sometimes when you start confusing guilt with responsibility, you start feeling like maybe you're responsible for how that person feels about how the relationship ended. and you start feeling like you need to be accessible and you need to answer the text or you need to be accessible because somehow maybe that's going to make up for
what you didn't do
or how that person
or
feels.
how that person feels about what happened or how it went down.
Exactly. And that guilt is not the same as accountability.
Right. Because
And
you can take accountability, you can apologize, you can do all the things and said, I fucked up.
Exactly.
But at some point, it has to be let go of
Because
by the other party.
the responsible thing to do is to take the accountability, and the accountability is actually not to send the mixed messages.
Correct.
The accountable thing to do is to set a boundary and to probably create distance and
Yep.
say that this is not a thing.
Especially if you see they
because
haven't healed.
You deserve, yes. And you see what's happening.
Yes.
And you deserve more.
Yeah. Even if you feel like you did a bad thing or the wrong thing in that relationship and you've realized that, and then you say, you know what, I've learned from that. I'm so sorry that hurt you. I'm so sorry that I did that. And space and time go by, and that person is still holding that thing over you. That's no longer on you now. Now that's with them. And they got to figure out how to heal from it. And they can't keep stabbing you every chance they get because they feel bad still 5, 8 years, 10 years later. That's not okay. Like now, yeah, we've entered manipulation. We've entered toxic. So, yeah, that's not somebody you want to keep around as a friend because clearly friends, and people throw around the word friend. So I think it's also, what are you saying when you say friend? Because I think a lot of people mean acquaintance. Like I feel like when they say they're friends with their exes,
it's kind of loose.
It's like, you mean y'all talk here and there, y'all message, they still trying to keep tabs on you a little bit. Like,
Well, that's right. The how you doing? The how you doing? Then that's what I mean about the access, right? Because it's like you continue to remain emotionally available, probably for something that you probably shouldn't.
Just because you can, don't mean you should.
Just
Kehlani
because
said
you
it.
just because you can doesn't
don't
mean you should. Exactly.
So I think when we talk about friendship and really caring for someone, checking in on people, actually spending time, actually trying to build something, a relationship, that's different.
And we talked about it in the other
friendship,
podcast. Friendship
right.
is protection too.
Yes.
You don't want to hurt the other person.
You don't want to hurt the other
Yeah.
person. It's a safe space.
Yeah.
A friend is a safe space.
Yeah.
It is not a space where you should feel attacked or you should feel judged or you should feel, they'll hold you accountable, but it's not a place where you do harm.
Yeah.
So if somebody is saying they're in a friend space that is your ex and they're still doing you harm, it's not your friend.
No, it's not.
It's not.
So
it's not that.
self-punishment was dressed up
Yeah.
like it was
Yeah,
self-punishment.
I've
It's like,
ideally-
looked like compassion, but it was
It
really
looked like compassion.
Yeah, but it was really guilt. But anyway, so
I think to bring it all
Boundaries,
back,
y'all,
yeah,
boundaries.
but yeah, definitely have boundaries. But I think I haven't it sounds ideal that maybe I could be friends with ex, but I never have, and I don't. It's never a situation because when you then have a partner, now it's like why are you friends with your ex? Now I will say I fucked with people who are really like, but it wasn't nothing deep. Like,
but
you
that's
said.
what I'm saying. The best case scenario is it was
We did
quick
something
and we
and
quickly
we
decided we would
we're
be
friends.
great
It's
as
platonic.
friends.
It's
Exactly.
platonic.
Because it's that like there's nothing there attached to it,
And
no
years
one
later,
is feeling
there's
threatened.
nobody. There's
That's
never
it.
crossed
That's
a
it.
line ever again.
That's
Like,
the perfect scenario.
That's the perfect scenario where
You can come to the wedding.
Yes,
Perfect scenario.
Yes, because I know you sit there and you're gonna be happy for me. You
And
know what I'm
everything's
saying?
respectful.
And everything's respectful.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah. So
So what about blocking, unfollowing?
do it.
Do
Do it. Block it, unfollow. You know
Yeah.
what? I think you have to protect your peace. I mean, it goes back to boundaries, right? So you have to know your triggers.
Yeah.
If back in the day, I would look at like blocking or unfollowing somebody as like that's being petty, or like let me not do that because I don't want to seem like the pettier person. Like I'm bigger than that. But you got to know your triggers, and if you see if seeing them on your timeline is something that you're not ready to do, block the shit out of them and block everybody they know if that's going to help. Like block the shit out of them and do what you have to do to protect your peace. Yeah. Because it's just not worth it.
I think if people if they've created a situation to where, like, clearly after a fresh breakup, yes, do all the things, get them out. You got to grieve. You got to get over them. So, yes, if it's that kind of situation, for sure, block, do all the things. If it's one of those situations where it's like it was an amicable breakup, it wasn't nothing really toxic about it, I can still follow you. I don't feel the need to unfollow you. Yeah. Like, it's cool to see what you're doing, where you at. Like, cool. Every now and then, oh, that's dope. Like, haha, laugh. You know, maybe build some kind of, maybe a little online friendship a little bit to just say, hey, I see you. Keep going. Like, do your thing. For the toxic people, the people that don't respect boundaries, that continue to do things that are not okay, for sure. Yeah. Like, unfortunately, that's what you have to do, because at the end of the day, like you said, it's about protection of yourself. And so if they're doing things that are causing strife in your life or causing disruption, and you've asked them not to and they continue to, there's no other option there. Yeah, no one. I think that's obvious. That's I agree, 100%. I agree. I just think sometimes you are not amicable or not. Sometimes your heart just can't handle it. Fair, if it's that kind of breakup, for sure.
Sometimes your heart just can't handle it.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you just,
you got to put them away. Like, sometimes breakups are like a funeral with the person that's still walking the earth. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really a funeral that you have to kind of grieve this person, but they're still alive. So it's like,
and you're on my timeline.
Yes. So I gotta get you off my timeline. Like, I gotta really treat you like you're no longer here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And then there's the community. There's the friendship circle. So who keeps the community? Who gets to keep the community? Who keeps them? Who gets them? Who gets the friends? Who gets the barbecues? Who gets the spades nights? Who gets the movie nights? Who's going to see Sinners? Who's all gonna be there?
It is. It's definitely that. It's all of those things. You definitely gotta check for your own mental health. Like, it's not a game. Like, and shout out to the friends.
That are like,
shout out to the
friends. Shout out to the friends.
I want y'all both at my 40th. Yeah. So I need y'all to figure it out. Like, no plus ones, because it's fresh. Yeah. Y'all, it's just y'all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shout out to the friends that do that. That's like, I want to see both of y'all. Can y'all, nobody's bringing another person. Yeah. This is what it is. Yeah. Like, big up to those kinds of friends. Now, the friends that don't give the heads up or don't be like, then it's like, now I gotta look at you sideways.
Yeah,
too.
I think you gotta leave it up to the friends to choose, though, right? Like, I think
definitely.
I think it's gonna be up to the friends to kind of manage those relationships with the two of you. Yep. I think you're gonna have your friend group, and I don't think you should push yourself, in. But I think it's gonna be up to the friends to kind of manage that.
Yeah, I'm never gonna ask you to choose me. Yeah. Like, that's not a thing. That's not a thing.
I agree. But the out and about thing, and when you see your ex out, what you doing? You going over to say hello?
You should. I think if it's a long relationship and it depends. Again, this is variable. Like, it depends on if that person did you dirty or like how it ended. If y'all are cool and y'all know y'all speak, like y'all text and be like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Then you should be able to say hello. Yeah. At least acknowledge the person that you was with for 5 years.
Civil.
Yeah, be civil. Like,
absolutely.
Unless civil. They were heinous to you, then by all means. Like, if they were an awful person, then hell nah, fuck you. I would never speak to I see through you. I don't even see you.
You're dead to me.
Period.
I love it, y'all. I love it.
Well,
X
X-Files.
X Etiquette 101, y'all. And just so y'all know, closure is a scam. You don't need it.
You don't.
You really, really don't.
You don't. Don't try to get it.
Close the
closure
door.
is how they acted.
That's
it. Remember how they acted in them last moments.
That's it.
Let that be your closure.
Close the door. Close the door. You do not need them to come and lock the door with you. Close the door and walk away.
Please.
It's a wrap.
All right, y'all. It is time for question/listener letter. And we have our first listener letter.
Ooh.
All right, you guys, this is from Babe. She wanted to stay anonymous. So she said, "Hi, Chelsea and Shiloh. I love your podcast. Every episode has been so timely, engaging, and thought-provoking. This week's main topic about friendships felt like a personal letter to me. I've been in a lull with a friend of over 12 years, and everything you mentioned about the dynamics of a long-term friendship brought me to tears. I've been feeling like it's turning into a silent breakup, but I miss my friend and have been wanting to reach out again. This episode felt like the push I needed to try once again.
Oh, I love that.
I appreciate your vulnerability so much. I'm so glad I came across your show. Thank you so much for such a great episode. I was speechless, emotional, and clapping all at the same time. May your platform continue to grow and reach all the kind humans meant to hear your messages. Peacefully, Babe."
I love that. I was like literally speechless when
It's beautiful.
I read that. I mean, I feel like it just kind of gives validation to what we kind of talk about here.
Yeah, and
Heartbreak is
intention.
valid. Silent grief is valid, and outgrowing friendships is a real thing. You know, so I love that. You know, our words didn't just live in the mic, and we're not the only ones that feel these things. I feel like that's sacred. So, Babe, I appreciate that you shared that, and I'm praying for you and your friend. I hope that
Please keep us updated.
you
Let
give us
us
an
know. We would love to hear how that went, and
Yeah.
we hope the best and pray the best for you and your friend. And
Love
that
that.
is our listener letter /question of the week.
I love that.
Yeah.
Send more. All right, guys, between you and me, if you're out here doing emotional community service for an ex just because you feel guilty, baby, clock out and hit the button to follow our podcast. That's what you actually should be doing right now. Send this to your friend who still thinks they can be friends with their ex that they're not over with yet, when what they really need is Wi-Fi, a journal, and a boundary. And if it's you, choose peace like your soft heart depends on it, because it absolutely does. And then go give us 5 stars, because our rating depends on it. Find us on IG, MVP Podcast, and send your letters to mvppodcast@gmail.com. We appreciate you guys listening.
All right, y'all. It's time for Fuck, Marry, Friend Zone, and we have Taurus season edition because, baby, we in Taurus.
I love a Taurus.
season.
I love
Same.
Tauruses.
It was my bestie's birthday yesterday. Shout out. Happy birthday, Deshaun.
Happy birthday, Deshaun.
Love you. I love a good Taurus. They keep me
too.
grounded. So this time around, we have some Taurus. Shout out to Kehlani, who we were just talking about all throughout this podcast. She is
Love
in here.
Kehlani.
Candy Burris, another Taurus.
Love Candy.
And we have Lena Waithe, another Taurus.
Ooh, I love Lena Waithe.
All right. So who are you fucking, marrying, and friend zoning?
Okay, so I am going to friend zone Lena Waithe. She seems really cool. I love her creativity, and we just I feel like we would just have a really good time. I am going to fuck Kehlani. She a badass bitch, beautiful woman, and I'm gonna marry Candy because she's a powerhouse and does all the things, and she got about 42, 50, 11 businesses. So
That part.
easy.
I am going to friend zone Lena. This is hard between Candy and Kehlani. I feel like my vibe would be more Kehlani to marry, but I think I'm gonna marry Candy.
Really?
I think so.
I don't think so.
I feel like it. I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't know. I feel like creatively. Because Candy is business. She's like business minded. So, but I enjoy that. I like that.
I feel like y'all would have great conversations.
I think so too. I think I'm a fuck Kehlani and I'm a marry Candy.
Yeah.
I'm a marry Candy. She said yeah.
Yeah, because I can see that. I can see that.
I could see that.
Yeah.
And Candy get down with the get down.
That's what I'm saying.
She got a whole sex dungeon.
Hello.
Okay.
She freaky. She a freak.
I like that for me. So that's
I
what,
like that for me. I like that for you too.
All right, y'all. Keep your heart soft, your vibes high, and stay in bloom.